go ahead and start by pulling off our headlight knob here. I'm going to set that aside. Then we're going to go ahead and use a 7mm socket. We're going to go ahead and remove the 3 screws across the top of the black gauge bezel here. Once we remove these screws, we're going to go ahead and pull the bezel forward or towards you. On our dash, this screw is missing, so we only had 2 on our particular vehicle, but you'll have a 3rd one in the middle. Our center of the dash trim here, we're just going to pull forward and pull out our 2 screws right here. Once we get those 2 screws out, this black trim bezel should pop right off. Now for our lower knee panel right here, there are a couple more 7mm screws. There's one just to the right of the emergency brake release handle. So we'll reach underneath. Once you get this screw out, we're going to follow along the bottom edge. There's one more on the right side over here. Let's go ahead and pop this one out. Pull our lower knee panel down. That's going to allow us to go ahead and pull this out here and get to our switch on the back side. Now at this point here, we have our switch that had popped off the back of our trim bezel. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the harness on this here. On the top right here, there's a little plastic tab. Going to press down on this tab and disconnect the connector. There you have it. Have the connector popped out of the back. And take your new switch here. That can only go on one way, so it's going to be pretty easy to line that up. Line it up, snap it into place. Now you want to go ahead and install this into the back of your trim bezel here. What we're going to do is line up these 2 pins on the face, and there's also pins on the back side of the trim bezel here. They're going to line up with these 2 little ears right here, and this is your bulb that should line up with the top. So we need to slide our bezel back down and work our switch into the front. Now, once we have that switch pressed into place, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and install our knob here for the headlight. Make sure everything lines up nice. And it does, lines up and locks into place. Let's go ahead and install our bezel now. Sliding this back in. Get our pins lined up. All right, now that we have that in place, let's go ahead and focus on our lower panel now and get this lined up and popped into place as well. So we have that together. Let's install our 2 screws on the bottom. I'm just going to get that one started first, and then we'll get the other one started beside it. And just snug those down gently. Do the same for this one here. Let's install our screws across the top here. Once again, our vehicle only had 2. This should be 1 in the middle. If you have 3, go ahead and install your 3 screws. Lightly snug those down. Let's go ahead and install our cluster right here. Line up your pins, push everything into place. Let's go ahead and install your screws here. Should be 2. I'm going to lightly snug those down. Once you have those snug, go ahead and install your cigarette lighter if it may have popped out on you. You're all set.